Hi there, my name is John Holden. I graduated from the University of Connecticut in 1992 with a bachelor's degree in ornamental horticulture. In 1993, I started Land Designs Unlimited. I design, install, and maintain landscapes for homeowners in Upper Fairfield County, Connecticut. Today, I'd like to share my passion with you. Hi folks, today I'd like to go ahead and show you how to plant a containerized shrub in the landscape. And when I'm creating landscapes, there's usually two different situations I run into. The first situation is if I'm creating a new bed where we've ripped out all the existing plants, we've gone ahead and spread 3 or 4 inches of compost on the top of the bed, tilled it in, and we've got a whole garden bed full of beautiful soil. Now in that situation, when you're planting a tree or a shrub, basically all you need to do is follow the directions we're doing here without adding any amendments. However, if you're going to be planting a tree or shrub where you have existing vegetation like we do here overhead, there are going to be roots of those plants going through the bed. And if there's roots already in the beds, you really don't want to bring a tiller in and till the soil and go overly crazy amending the soil. It's going to do more harm than good. So in a situation like today where we've already got plants overhead, or let's say we were adding a shrub to an existing landscape, what we're going to do is dig the hole and plant the shrub, but only amend the soil around the plant. And the rule of thumb when you're amending soil around a plant is you really don't want to add more than about 10% soil amendment to the existing soil. And the reason for that is if we had this shrub here and let's say we went really heavy on our amendments and we dug out the hole and we had this beautiful soil around really sandy or poor soil, the roots of the shrub are never going to want to move out into the native soil. And eventually your shrub is going to become pot bound. Today we're going to be planting a 3-gallon, this is a red twig dogwood, and I've already dug the hole. But this is the size of a 3-gallon container. And when I'm digging the hole for containerized shrubs, what I usually try to do is let the shrub be an inch or two higher than the existing landscape. Whenever I'm planting a new landscape, I like to put down a good 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch right after we plant to keep that water in and keep the weeds down. So because I know I'm going to be mulching very heavy, I like to put that plant up a little bit higher so it doesn't get smothered by the mulch. And the other thing about planting trees and shrubs is the #1 killer of trees and shrubs in a landscape is being planted too deeply. So I'd rather be err on the side of being too shallow than too deep. When you're digging your hole for your tree or shrub, basically all you need to do is dig that hole maybe 3 or 4 inches larger than the pot. There's really no reason to go farther. Now it's really not recommended to be grabbing trees and shrubs by their foliage. It's not good for them. Unfortunately, it is a heck of a lot easier to do the job if you grab the branches. So what I usually say is, if it's a loose tree or shrub, take the extra time, be careful, don't grab the branches. But on shrubs like this red twig dogwood, we're not going to do any harm. So we're going to go ahead and use the branches to get this tree out of the pot. If your shrub is very pot bound, it can be very helpful to kind of whack that pot a little bit, roll it, whack it a little bit, and then roll it a little bit. And then what you can do is just pull it right out of that pot. If it's so pot bound you can't get it out, don't be afraid to take your pruners and just cut right up the side of the pot. Now that we've got our shrub out of the pot, we're going to go ahead and check the depth of the hole. And I think I dug this hole a little bit too deeply. If you take a look here, you can see that it's probably a little bit below the existing soil. So I'm going to pull this shrub out and go ahead and put a little bit more dirt in the bottom of the hole. Whenever you add soil to the bottom of the hole, it's always a good idea to tamp it down with your feet because you really don't want your plant to end up settling as time goes by. Before we start to backfill, we're going to do one more thing, actually 2 more things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our spade and we're going to go ahead and cut about 1 inch deep on the side of this ball. All these roots are going to end up wrapping in circles if we don't cut them, and they're going to end up choking the plant out down the road. So what we want to do is just go ahead and take our shovel and cut about 1 or 2 inches deep into the root ball. And you want to do that in about 3 to 4 different places on your shrub. You don't want to cut the whole ball in half. You just want to cut about 1 to 2 inches deep. Before we go ahead and put our plant in the hole, we're going to take a quick look at the plant and try to figure out what the best face of the plant is. This shrub's got a little bit of a higher back, so we're going to pick her up, spin her around, and you always want to put the nicest face of the plant where either people are going to see it the most or possibly your homeowner is going to see it the most from inside the house. You just don't want to put like a big empty hole in the front there. Once we've got the plant faced, we'll double check the height, make sure it's nice and level, and then we can begin to backfill. If you're looking for some amendments for your shrub, I really like to use compost. If you've got a compost pile in the backyard somewhere, just go ahead and dig up some of that compost, sprinkle it around the base of the plant before you backfill, and then just push that soil right in. Quite often for me, I'll go to a supply yard and pick up some real nice dark black compost and just work from the compost on the truck. If you don't have a compost pile or somewhere to buy compost, another amendment I really like is dehydrated cow manure. Dehydrated cow manure, the bag's usually dry, so you can just pick up the bag and shake some off around the plant as you go. Composted cow manure is good as well, but it's usually composted and still wet, and it kind of comes out in clumps. You could certainly also use peat moss if that's all you had. You just want something that's highly organic, that doesn't have a lot of fertilizer in it, that's going to be a slow release of nutrients and add some organic matter for your earthworms to enjoy. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and take our compost or whatever amendment you have and sprinkle that around the base of the plant. And then we can go ahead and begin backfilling the plant. We want to put our soil around the plant. We don't want to put our soil on top of the ball of our shrub. And then as you go, you want to gently tap the soil. You don't want to tamp the soil so hard that you could build a walkway on top of it, but you want to remove any air holes in there and make sure there's good contact between the native soil and the soil of the pot. But there's the base of our plant, and you can see we're about 1 inch or 2 high on this plant. If I'm in a garden where there's going to be an irrigation system installed, I usually don't create a ring around the base of the plant to catch water. But this is going to be a woodland planting. I'm not really sure how often it's going to be watered, so I want to make every bit of water count. So what I'll do is go ahead and create a nice ring to catch the water around the base of the plant. And you can just take your shovel and scrape that soil over. And a little tip I learned when I was starting out is if you're planting your tree or shrub on a hillside, you don't need to make a ring all the way around the plant. Leave it like a half moon shape. That way when the rain does come, that water is going to get caught. It's going to travel into the back of the well and get caught by the well. And we really didn't bump into many rocks today, but the rule of thumb I usually use is anything that's about a golf ball size and bigger, I'll get rid of. If it's smaller than a golf ball, I don't worry about it. Our final step is going to be to go ahead and give our new planting a little bit of water. And the key to getting your new plant established is always to give plenty of water. So sometimes what I'll do is if I have a large planting, I'll go through, I'll fill all the wells once, move to another one, and then come back and do it again just to make sure that that water seeps in deeper. Okay, I'm going to move the camera now and show you how I plant one, and I'm going to try to talk a little bit less and just let you watch what's going on. And hopefully it'll be a little bit more natural for me as well to go ahead and just plant a shrub.